Hi, I'm Paul Reisler from Kid Pan Alley.
She took my favorite chair. It's no fair. No fair. She took the book I wanted. She wouldn't share. It's no fair. Shoved me out of line. It happens all the time. It makes me feel like crying. It's no fair.
Well, I started writing songs when I was about 5 years old, and I think they irritated my mother, and she told me to be quiet. My composition teacher took one look at me and said, "Why are you doing this? You're wasting your time and mine." We're all born with this creative spark, and yet it's trained out of us in schools. I do think that we're still in a 19th century way of thinking about education, where we're training kids to work in factories, we're training kids to take orders and follow them and do things in a very linear fashion. And yet right now we're in the 21st century economy is a creative economy where people have to learn to think, they have to learn to create, and creativity is the most powerful thing ever invented. In fact, everything comes from somebody being creative, from somebody thinking, imagining something in their minds before it's done. And so my goal is to reinvigorate creativity as a core value in education. So I'm trying to really inspire that creativity. I'm trying to let children know that they have that in them, and in the way in which Picasso would say, you know, we're all born as artists and the challenge is to remain one. I'm trying to keep them in that creative space. Well, it happened in a very natural way. I didn't plan it. Someone asked me to do some workshops for kids in our local school, and in 3 weeks I wrote 50 songs with the kids. And I realized after I'd done it for a while that one of the reasons I was doing it was how different it would be for kids if they were encouraged at that age to write songs, to be creative, to speak about what they were really feeling in a creative way.
Chocolate's always male, flowers always pale, but the best present of all would be love, love, love on Mother's Day.
We're giving them a chance to create a song that expresses what they want, what they think, how they feel, maybe things that they aren't always comfortable revealing one-on-one, but in a group.
Well, I think the most important thing is they walk away with a sense of accomplishment, that they can do something and they can do it well.
It's really cool. You can just kind of say whatever you're thinking or feeling inside and create something that you didn't think you're able to do.
Because we really value every word that comes out of their mouth, and you know, they hear their ideas turning into a song that's then performed with them and professional musicians on stage. And I think that's the most important thing, is they know they can be creative. Aside from that, they're learning all kinds of language skills. They're learning about rhyme, they're learning about rhythm, they're learning music, they're learning performance. The budgets have been slashed, they're laying off teachers, they're cutting everything that doesn't seem like a necessity. And to me, creativity is the necessity. If we're going to get ourselves out of the problems we're in, it's going to require people coming up with creative solutions. But because there's so much testing and so much of the standards of learning, the necessity is teaching kids to take a test. Well, teaching them to take a test doesn't make them better able to solve problems later in life. It just makes them pass the test. So I feel more than ever my job is to get out there and make it happen. So we're finding that we're much more involved in the fundraising for the school in order to make it happen in their community. But we're all more committed to making it happen because I feel kids need it more. Some of the artists who've participated are Amy Grant, Delbert McClinton, Sissy Spacek, Kix Brooks, the Nashville Bluegrass Band, the Nashville Chamber Orchestra, Beth Nielsen Chapman, Susie Bogus, Cracker, John McCutcheon, Corey Harris, And I know I'm leaving out plenty because we have had so much help over the years in making this happen. Well, we're writing somewhere around 300 to 400 songs a year with Kid Pan Alley. A typical songwriting contract with a publisher is 10 or 12 songs a year for a songwriter that they turn in. So pretty much I'm doing that in a week. I'm fulfilling my publishing contract as if I had one. But we are writing songs, and we're writing songs about every imaginable thing. I don't think there's a subject that we don't have a half a dozen songs for. We're working pretty hard right now, and especially in this economy. And my job should be in there all the time with kids, and instead a lot of it's spent on administration. Whereas I think my real gift is the work with the kids. And of course for the kids, this thing they wrote, instead of it being something that they hang on the refrigerator with a magnet, and their parents say, oh, that's cute. Here they've been honored by an orchestra and a famous singer singing what they did. And I think that just changes the way they look at themselves in the future. Well, we've gotten very generous donations, grants every year from the ASCAP Foundation. We also get grants from the NAM Foundation, which is the National Association of Music Merchants, from Diodario String Company, and a number of other companies, both large and small, that have helped make this happen. We really, really appreciate donations, because that's what allows us to go into a school and work there these days, is people donating so that we can do more schools and we can work with more children. Generally, during the course of a week, we write songs with 200 to 250 children. And then on Friday, we'll rehearse with them in the morning. We'll have an afternoon concert for the school in the afternoon, and then in the evening we'll have a community concert. And the community concerts are really well attended because each kid's bringing their grandparents and their parents and their brothers and sisters, and so we'll often have 600-700 people for a concert, whereas that's pretty hard to do. If I went out by myself trying to do a concert, I would not I get a fraction of that. It's really about community. Community which is sorely lacking, I think, in our age of the internet as a community. Kid Pan Alley brings people together to have a face-to-face community.
School's coming out, I'm going to learn to be an artist and paint pictures in the sand. Live in a sandcastle and write a song with my band. I'll bring it all to life. Won't that be nice when school is finally out?
That is such a great song. Wow. Aren't you proud of your song?
Yes.
Yeah, I would be. I'm proud of that one.